Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Lunch and Learn. I'll be your host, Jared. Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday. Today, I will be answering your questions as best as I can on anything decisions related. So go ahead and populate that question and answer section of Zoom, and I will answer it to the best of my abilities. As you're getting your questions all situated and formulated, we have a couple of awesome things. The usual, our YouTube channel and our decisions marketplace, where you can consume content, find information that we've worked on, and how we teach people how to leverage the decisions platform even better for their environment as they continue to go through. So that will be the next steps for that. So if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask away, and we will have a great discussion over it. So we got a question. How do I choose a Boolean field to filter a graph? That's a good question. All right, let's see if we can dive right into that. I'm gonna go to my instance and let's see if we can do that. All right, Joe, I've given you permission to talk. Could you give some more insight? Are you trying to do this on a dashboard, on a form? Where are we doing this at?
Sure, this is the report,
Okay.
and the report has a series, right? So I
hmm
have three series, and what I am trying to do is if I go into the data section of the report and I go into results, I see my three series. And if I edit any one of those, the choices are pick the field, right? Give it a name, and then the aggregation type, which is count.
hmm
So if you give it a and you say all my fields are null except for if they're filled in, right? So I choose the exclude null values option, which is fine. It does what it's supposed to do. But the if I had a bit field instead of a numeric field, right? You
hmm
should be able to say count of um the field that has, the bit in it, right? It's either on or off, right? It's either true or false. So the only way I seem to get it to work is when I use a field that has money in it. In other words, it has to have a number in it. Is it number specific for a count, or can
Is
it
it
be a Boolean?
all right? So you're talking about. Let's see if I go in here. You're talking about this part, right? The results field for subtotals.
Yep. Yep. And you add, and then you choose a field or whatever on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you choose a money field or something that has, values in it, you can count the number of those that are filled in as long as the rest of them aren't null. And it just so happens that most of my data is null unless it is filled in. So that works out fine for that. But I have two logical fields in the
hmm
same table, that are true or false. And if I
Okay.
wanted to say, I just want if one is true and the other is true, then count this,
hmm
right? So we have a bit field, and most of them are false by default. They're not null. And then let's say two or three rows are true. And all I want to do is represent that in some sort of a graph that says that particular field, the two fields, the first one and the second one, if they're true,
hmm
then count them.
Okay. So you want to have a count on a field based on, so it's like how I'm understanding it. So let's say I add a filter to this, signed to me, and let's say completed. Assignment filter. And sure, let's say I want to know if there's any that are current or completed. Right, those are the ones. And you want to have just a report graph, right, of some sort.
Yes, any kind of graph.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. I'm gonna do Results subtotals count of state field. I think I get what you're saying. Count state. All right, we can just refresh this. Now I should go ahead and break the lock. So now I should be able to let me add a report. Do I have to? Oh, that's right. I have to always group that. And then I could say, all right, let's just do a column chart. For why not? We could say column by state. Right. And so this is what you're looking for. So that's filtered by something like that.
Yes, is the option in there to omit nulls? Does that make a difference or no?
You can. So like, I mean, we can say I used a like a
So
state filter.
you're using a filter then to group the fields together. Um,
Exactly. Yeah. So I just filter out the data I don't want. We do this.
I was using a bar chart with three series. So there's three bar charts. One represents the total amount, one represents something that's been started, and something that's been completed. So there's three conditions. So the only way to do that is to take the filters off and make the conditions inside the results field, the results section. And
So
that's
you
where one of the ways that I'm doing it is, this particular field is not null. This particular field is not. But if I don't want to use a not null field, I want to use a bit field. There's no way to specify that.
want to use a bit field. So like, let me see if I can remove this filter. I just want to see if I can
Yeah.
find other assignments in here. I didn't. Let's just do assign to me. I'm just gonna do so. Like you're like something
So
like this is what you
so
have,
you
right?
really well for each horizontal, I have three graphs. The horizontal represents the three series, right?
Okay.
Three series is
So
three different conditions.
okay. I'm trying to grasp it. Something like yeah, three different. So these are your conditions. Mine are just current, completed, and pending state change.
Okay, so do you have
Right.
that as results?
Yeah, this is the count that just says results.
Can you just go to that section that says results, like hit the data on the top, right? And then go to results.
Count by state.
Okay, so there was two more subtotals. That's what I have.
Oh, so you're at so you have more subs. So you have one subtotal.
I have,
Hold on. I'm gonna get the bars back, and I'll say this is bar chart. So you're trying to do like a multi. I'm trying to figure out.
yeah, I
You're
have
like, mhm.
three, three for every, see where it says completed,
Yep.
current, and pending? So I
Hmm.
have, the names of departments there.
Sure, I got you.
Okay. And then for each department, I have conditions. Either they haven't started, they have started, or they're finished. So I broke the three departments, but if you will, into three series.
So it's like subgroups inside of it.
Yeah.
I think I
I
know what you're
mean,
saying. So let's see if I can grab. Let's see if I can make another one. I want to do. Do I have data?
like what you have right there is what I have. I just go to data
Yeah.
and I went to results and I added two more subtotals.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So let's do sure count by created by or something. Right.
Yeah. And then like one more.
Okay. And flow name. Sure. Why not? All
Okay.
right.
So
Uh-huh.
now if you look at that, you should have three sections for each completed, three sections for each current, three sections for each pending.
Three sections. So that's where I'm a little confused. I'm wondering if this is a data specific question. Okay, so bar gives it the same way. So it's like, what's the end state is you want like I if I clicked into completed, I would see like the subsection of like, hey, it was completed by Joe,
No, there's
Jared, and
actually
Craig.
there's actually three separate bar charts on one. completed section. Three separate bar
Mm,
charts representing the three series, and the three series are coded as if this one's done, counted, if this field is done, counted, if this field is done, counted.
mhm. I'm trying to. I'd have to. Could you just email me just a screenshot of yours? I just can't visualize that.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
I think it's just a me problem. It's probably what you're asking for is very reasonable. It's just I'm
is
not
it
sure.
and all of a sudden the same thing happened to you as what happened to me. I got all different bar charts that are all different colors. They used to be all the same color or
Uh-huh.
slightly different. How does the color get affected there? What makes it
Uh,
red? What makes it blue?
I think decision just assigns the color to it, but you can change the color by just saying, "Hey, instead of it being, completed, I want to be green," and then now completed's green. And so you can change the base colors for that
Oh, but you
for it.
click on it and then you pick the color,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
or
I
you
can add
press,
more. So let's do what's the second one? Can I add more? Because the
yeah, you
bar
press
chart
the
enough.
plus button, I think.
Yeah, I just pressed the plus. I'm just curious, does that increase this? If I want to make this like what is it, current? I want to make it this color. Oh, okay, there we go. So it adds it like that. Okay, so then I can click on this and I can move this right or left. Okay, that's interesting. And then pending state change, I could say, well, that's red. That's a very weird UI, but that's how that works. Basically, these are clickable. And over here, let's say I want red to be completed for some reason. I can left click this and then I click the arrow to move it. And
Yeah.
then it changes where the colors of it. So it's just system defaulted, but you can set it to, something uh more for, your own branding or makes more sense for you.
All right. I will check that out. Um, who do I email?
Oh yeah, Jared at decisions.com. I'll put that in the chat so that you can see it. Because I'm pretty sure I could probably build what you're talking about. I just, for some reason, I'm thinking, my brain's thinking like, I've seen people, what they do in decisions is like, I have this graph and then you can click on it and then boom, it shows like, um, like a subgraph of like
Yeah, yeah,
data.
that I think that happens automatically, but I think what I'm getting at is just what you got here, like you have completed. Um, that might be a department, right? So
Yeah.
like completed, current, and pending site change may all those three would be grouped under one bar chart, if you will, called I don't know what this represents, but I guess I have to show it to you.
Yeah. See if you email it to me, I could probably figure it out. And I could try to do it on the call. If not, then we could just get on a call afterwards and you can, show it to me.
Let me see if I can get it really quick because I've been fooling with it and I've been screwing it around.
No worries. But yeah, but that'd be a cool thing.
Here we go.
Awesome. Let me open up my email. I'll put it on this side.
All right, I just sent it to you.
Ah, perfect. Cause yeah, this sounds. Ugh, excuse me. Oh, okay.
See how the right one has two? One, the total number is in the middle. The one to the left of tax is the completed. There's only one completed. And then there's none that have been started. That would appear on the right side of the word tax.
Oh, okay. So oh, interesting. Okay, so you're trying to do. I think I get it now. Um, I got you. So this is not what decisions looks like. That this is like the vision, or this is what decisions looks like.
This is decisions.
Okay, that is decisions. Okay, cool.
And I got it to work. That,
Mm-hmm.
but what I was questioning was when you get it to work like you see,
Mm-hmm.
I am going into the results section
Mm-hmm.
and I am going into the fields and if I had a field called, Boolean true or something like that, whatever, it's a Boolean field, right? True
Hmm.
false field.
Yeah.
Just like I'm selecting, give me the total count of this particular field, don't include the nulls. That's
Hmm.
because I've added some money value to those null fields. So there's like the one or two that are being started, they would have money in the number field. The problem that I first tried was I changed the field from a money field referencing the field on the top, at the very top where it says fields.
Hmm.
Go up to the top where it says fields.
Right here. Yeah.
No, no, in the results.
Oh,
Okay, go into any one of those and then see the field created by.
see the field created by. Yes, I do.
It's the top one. If you change that to a field that is a Boolean field and say count those fields, you would think that it would count the Boolean field.
Let me count the Boolean field, and
So if
it.
two rows were true in 100 rows, you'd see 100 total, but only two to the right of that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So yeah, that just counts the amount of rows that have a completed column. It's not a filter. You'd have to add a filter to get like I want to know the completed ones that are that the bit flag is true and where the completed is false.
Yeah, but then as soon as you put a filter on this form, you're knocking out the other ones that the total amount, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
correct.
so anyway, I got it to work the way I want. The problem was I had to reference a field that had money in it, whereas I would have rather referenced a true false field.
Mm,
It seemed that when I referenced a true false field in results, that it didn't show up at all. But as soon as I changed the true false field at the very top where it says field name,
hmm.
and I chose a field that holds money, and I did a count of that field, it did do what it was supposed to do as long as it was not null.
Mm. So the question is, your specific question is why does it work on a Boolean or why does not work on a Boolean field, but why
Right.
does it work on a financial field? Interesting.
Exactly.
I would so I'm not sure what this sounds like. It's something probably specific to your data. I know in your data set we have a lot of parent like joins on it. And so
Hmm.
I'm presuming that when you selected one, like depending on what field you selected from one of the join tables and you filtered it by that, maybe that gave us the data analytics like expected data. Then if you looked at the Boolean field on a different table, because it's just from the report viewer, it's just one long piece of data. But from the
Hmm.
back end of the database, right? If we filtered a certain way, you may have it may count it differently. So I think that's a I don't think it's something on the decision side. I think it's more like a data backend question.
Yeah, I'm
That
curious
yeah.
because yeah, it it seems to me that you can't have any filter if you want the total amount, right? Because otherwise you won't get the total amount. Because that's one of the quantities I want, the total amount of, we'll call them budgets that I'm working with, right?
Mhm.
And then the other one is the ones that have been completed, and the only way to do that is to add a series and then say, I just
Results,
want to
sure.
see the field that has something, number value in this particular column. And then that shows up as a second item. And then I
Sure.
added a third that was, completely finalized. But I'd rather do this with true false fields. It seems more logical to do it that way than to do it with money fields.
Oh no,
They're both.
I would totally agree with that. I'm trying to think if there's a calculated column field where it's like a I'm thinking like a sum if or something, where it's like, hey, we can add these fields. This way you can have your department as one long data set where it's like here's a total field. Kind of like when you write a query, right? And you're like, hey, do sum this and then this column as total, and then you can add that
Hmm.
as like an aggregated column.
Hmm.
Because that's all Decisions is doing for the report designer. It's just these are just queries that's being run in the background, and so that's why. that's why from there's nothing decisions does magical to it. It's just, hey, it runs this query and then it gets the data. So that's why I'm thinking there's something in that query or in your data set that when you do it from the money field, it makes sense. But when you do it from the Boolean field, it doesn't make sense. And that's probably like a setup question, but not a decisions. A decisions isn't manipulating your data in a weird way. It's just querying it and then presenting it
Mhm.
for it. So
All right. If I can't
yeah.
figure, I mean, if I can't go any further, I think I got what I need. I was just
Okay.
curious as to why.
Yeah.
It seems to do what it's supposed to do right now, so we'll leave it at that.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. It just seems like it's something specific to your data. I wouldn't know where to troubleshoot it, but the thing I can confirm is I know decisions doesn't do any craziness to it. It just says, "Hey, query it, display it," and so maybe there's something weird with the way it's joined. That's probably uh, giving it that weird behavior.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, cool, cool.
Anybody else in here, or are we?
Yep, I got there. I got one. I got another one. So I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna go to James's question. Let's see. All right, James. James asked, notice strange behavior on the advanced data grid. Could you elaborate more, James, on
Yeah,
strange behavior? Yeah.
yeah. So I'm using some action buttons on the advanced data grid
Uh-huh.
that has a bunch of grouping on it too.
Okay.
And for the action button behind the scenes to know that it was clicked or to pull back the row that was clicked, you use that selected row, um, those items,
Okay.
because the you can't really use the selected row as far as the data grid goes because you could actually be on a different row and click an action item that's on another row that's not the
Mm,
selected row.
correct.
I've been using that selected row. It comes up when you do an action item and you're looking at the data fields, there's a selected
Yeah.
row. But
Yeah.
I have found some strange behavior with that where if you've got some um, uh, filters on there, that are not filters, groupings, that can get off that count that for that select that when you hit the button, the
Hmm.
action button, that count that row that it's pointing to can get off. And it seems to
Mm.
be off by by the number of groupings you have. Like it could be off two or one,
Oh,
depending.
interesting.
So I don't know if that's ever been noticed behavior before, or if that's just something that I'm doing wrong when I
Hmm. I can
but
find
I
out.
had to abandon that whole thing because of that. And I had to go a different route because I couldn't get that to be reliable. Once I
Sure.
reloaded that grid, because I would basically, once you selected it, it would do some calculation, but then I need to reload the grid to show that, refresh the data.
Sure.
And then it would get off the next time selected another item. It would be off by a couple of rows instead of the row that it's actually on.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let me see. What version are you on? I'm gonna see if I can build something pretty
I'm on
small.
915.
Okay, cool. So I think
Yeah,
you're
we
close to the one that I'm on. So I'm gonna go, let's just create one real quick and see if I can replicate it. And then I can check if there is a DT already in for it, if I'm able to replicate it. Accounts, and we're gonna go in here. I don't want to show the delete action. I do want to edit the report. And you said you grouped the fields, right?
yeah. I
Address.
had actually two levels of grouping on there. I don't know if that matters or not, but
All
I
right,
had
we could do
like
it.
a group and then a subgroup.
All right, I'll definitely do that. So let's say I'll group by this group, and then I'll subgroup that, and we'll see what happens. State. So that one, okay, yeah, that's there. And we'll say output, we'll say just accounts. And let me do output at accounts. The test stuff form created new, or let's say advanced data grid tests. And let's see, show form. Let me fetch entities so I can get some data inside of it. Put that in there. Get accounts. Are you utilizing any of the like results category that Joe's using, or no? It's just
No,
okay,
just
cool.
I was just using, yeah, I was just using the action button and trying to figure out what row I'm on
I
within the
see.
action button. Basically the sub dialogue that pops up.
Okay, I see. All right, so this is the value, and so you're saying if the selected item is off whenever you do like
Yeah, it
active.
gets off. It's not off at first. It's like when I select a row and then do some whatever calculation on that row and then reload the grid so that I can show that new data on the grid too. Because
Mhm.
it was affecting the rows in the data set. So I was refreshing it.
I gotcha.
It'd be like the second time I went back to select the next item, it'd be off by a couple rows. Like
The custom actions field is what you're using?
yeah, the custom action field that row selected is what you got to use to kind of figure out which one they clicked.
I see. Okay, cool. Click me. Let's see if I can do it real quick. And then now you're doing. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I think I just now I'm understanding that. Let's do. Okay, I'm just gonna say this is.
Yeah,
No, that's what I want. Show pop up.
right. Yeah, and then just see which row you're on, and you can just like select, like in that pop-up, just select anything. I mean, yeah. And then in
Selected.
your message there, select like the account.
This one.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm using right there. And it would come up.
just field one, like just like
I
this.
was, yeah, whatever field I was using for the key, I don't recall what it was, but yeah,
Okay, I'll just do
it
that.
was picking a totally different row.
I see. All right, so I think. Oh, let me go back. Oops, I got to change one thing. Can I change the flow? Yeah, edit the flow. I just gotta make sure I put it to specify user so there's no weird display over
Now,
here.
another thing I was doing different than what you're doing is
Uh,
once in the action, I was reloading the grid.
okay. So it's blank for me when I say selected row. Oh wait, it says end user. Oh wait. Okay, so I got admin, selected row, admindecision.com. And then if I click here, select external system, so that's accurate.
Mhm,
So that's guess.
mhm. Yeah, it seemed to work the first time. Now, the thing
Yeah.
is, I was
Reload the grid
I
is
was
what you're saying.
reloading the grid because I was taking action on some of the fields that were displayed in the grid, and they might change.
Got it. Okay. So then that's probably what the big difference is.
Mhm.
Okay. So then what do you do next after this? So then you like what change value to
Yeah,
use
like
it?
I changed one of the values that was in the grid, so I wanted to redisplay it so the grid had the new value in it. Like it was basically the pop-up was doing data entry for that row on the grid. And updating a bunch of fields on that data set. But some of them could be what's actually being displayed in the grid. So I wanted to reload the grid each time.
Gotcha. How did you reload? Is there a step in here that reloads the grid?
I would
Or no?
just um, I would just do another fetch on it, I think. Yeah. And then just set control to the data grid to reload it.
Set control. Oh, because you fetch entities again
Yeah.
inside of it?
Yep. Because
Interesting.
I
Okay.
was saving that row back to the data set. So I would have to fetch it again to get the new entry that I just updated.
Oh, okay.
And then I'd take that result there and do a set control back to the data grid and reload it.
I gotcha. Okay, so how can I do this with my data? I want to do this. If
You
I
can
save
probably do it.
entities,
You can probably do it, just don't change anything. I mean, you don't have to, I don't think you actually have to change anything in the end.
it's just the okay. You just want a reload function to happen
Yeah,
because I
basically. Yeah,
gotcha.
you're just
Okay, sure.
reloading it.
No, 100%. All right, let's do that. So if I go to form data, advanced data grid, we go to accounts. I'm going to change the value of this. So this is going to reload that data. Perfect. Close this. Create data. So I said it cheese@mail.com. Sure, of the selected row. And then we'll close this, and then close this. And then I have my action here. Admin, let's just make sure. Am I reloading that data? Okay, I am reloading that data. And then we run this. And this process mining, so that's accurate. System. So it selects the system, even though that's not the selected row. If I change the selected row, what happens? Okay, it's still.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Now I
Okay.
am. So what I'm no. So you're 9:15. I don't think I'm. Think I'm in 9. Let me just check. Okay, I'm actually in 9:14. So that's. So it could
Yeah.
be an issue in 9:15. Let me just check the DTs for advanced data grid because that doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just means maybe this was a problem.
Yeah, I'm thinking it could have been something with the way I don't know, but I got it
Could
to
be.
work when I switched away from the action button and just went to the selected row, and then had him edited it differently and then reloaded. It worked okay. It knows to select the row. It's just that selected in the actions where you've got to do the selected row in the field, and pass that. That wasn't syncing up correctly for
Yeah.
whatever
Let me
reason.
so let me do this. I don't I believe it's happening. I'm gonna take this offline and I'll send you an email. I'm gonna update my local into like 9:15, 9:16, the most recent, and I'll
Hmm.
test it. I understand what you're trying to do, and I think I can create
Hmm.
some small example on
Yeah,
how to do it. Because it sounds like it could be a data thing that maybe it's how you're saving the data, or there's like a contention between, saving it and then calling it back, and then it's not registering, like the cache
maybe.
hasn't.
I
Because
mean, maybe, yeah.
issues like that
Yeah.
happen where like you're like I'm saving data but it's not reflective in the portal. That's
Hmm.
usually like an ORM caching thing where it's in the database but the front end web app hasn't is still
Right.
operating on cached information. So
Could be.
it could be, hey, when I do this, let me just refresh the cache so I get a fresh pull from the data set,
Oh,
which
okay.
could be the thing. Or it could be that no, maybe that when you save it in that type of flow, it doesn't trigger an ORM cache refresh, and that might be something that
Okay.
we need to update. It all depends. So I'd have to
Yeah, yeah.
do a little more test on it. But
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. And
yeah,
the only other thing I would say that I did just to make sure we're comparing apples to apples is I did
sure.
have the selected row, where the
Hmm.
data grid had you could select a row. It was, one single select, I believe.
It was single select. I got you. Okay, so data grid,
Yeah, it was single
single
select, and I
single
was
select.
updating data that was actually on the grid and pulling it back into, and that seemed to work fine. It seemed to refresh the grid okay.
Hmm.
It's somehow that selected row when you go into the action button was kind of getting off. I don't know why that
Gotcha.
was.
Okay, cool. No, I can definitely take that offline and
All right, no
try to
problem. I
test
mean,
that out.
I figured it out, and I didn't, I was in a rush to get this through. I would have just saved off an example to send you guys, but I had
Yeah,
to
no
get that
worries.
thing fixed. So if I run
No
it,
worries.
if I run across again, I'll definitely have more accurate, information on it. But
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Well, thanks for sharing. That's still a great question to ask on Lunch and Learn because we can definitely help you find out if it is, or
yeah,
like I said, I don't mind running another test so that we have a sanity check to be like, oh no, this is bugged, or oh, I guess it's just build it this way, right?
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, that'd be great. Because if I would like to be able to do that, especially on these grids where I do have, groups in there, to
hmm,
be able to use that action button because for that application, I couldn't use it for that. And
sure.
I might try it again, but I had to
Mm,
totally scrap that and do something else.
gotcha. Yeah, well, I'll definitely test it out for you.
Cool. Thanks.
My pleasure. Alrighty. Any other questions? Alrighty. Well, if there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up, and we can get it uploaded to YouTube so you guys can refer back to it if there's no other question. Alrighty. Thank you so much for attending. Tomorrow I'll be hosting the next one as well. So for October 7th, I'll be on it. So if you guys have any additional questions or want to refer back to the things we've talked about today, feel free to just reach out to me tomorrow during Lunch and Learn, and I'll definitely be more than happy to assist. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time.